Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am here today to share with you my most anticipated books of the first half of 2021. I have my laptop here. I'm in my living room, so you can see all kinds of nonsense in the background. I have limited time to film during the day. Baby's asleep, so I can't use anything upstairs. So here we are, down here in the living room. I have my laptop here so that I can kind of go through synopsises, and I have dates for when these books are going to be released, but I wanted to share with you the ones that I'm really excited about. There's a lot of books on my list of books that I want to read in 2021, but these are the books that I either have already pre-ordered or plan to pre-order. Because I'm just that excited about them. So the first one comes out on the 19th of January, and it is called The Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe. And this is a queer love story. It is set in 1950s in San Francisco in Chinatown, and it's during the Red Scare. And it's basically about a girl who is kind of grappling with her newfound sexuality and also with her duty to her family. I think I remember there being something in there about a potential deportation, but really that struggle between being different in a time when anything different was being attacked. This sounds incredible. I love queer love stories in general, but this one sounds like something that's going to be straight up my alley. Next up is A Thousand Ships by Natalie Haynes. It comes out on the 26th of January. I have actually already read this book. I received an ARC from Harper Books, and this was already one of my most anticipated, and I'm leaving it on this list even though I've already read it because I just want to share how much I love this book, and I just think that a lot of people will be interested in it. This is a Greek retelling, so it's a retelling of the Trojan War from the women's perspective. And what Natalie Haynes has done with this is so interesting. And honestly, when I finished the book, I just thought, I want to see this perspective for every male-dominated myth or story out there, because I felt like it was just so, I don't know, just like such a full story with so much to be said. Essentially, we're seeing the perspective of all of these women who have been left behind. So with the Trojan War, a lot of the men from from Troy and the Greeks died, and so you're seeing, the women who were left behind when Troy fell, and what happens to them, and kind of what they've been dealing with. But you're also getting the story of some of the Greek women as well as some of the goddesses, and just one of the characters makes the comment that that they shook the myth until the women fell out, because why should half of the population's story go untold? And I thought that was fantastic, and this is just incredible. There's also throughout it letters that Penelope is writing to Odysseus as he's trying to make his way home from Troy, and that had me laughing out loud. So it is a wonderful story. The next two are subsequent books in a series. So the first one is the new Becky Chambers book, which is The Galaxy and the Ground Within. This comes out on the 16th of February, and it's the fourth and final book in the Wayfarers Quartet. They're all just like loosely connected in the same world. This one, I had already pre-ordered it before I even knew what it was about, just because I love the Wayfarers Quartet. This one is about three strangers who get stranded on a planet due to some sort of travel malfunction, and they're all different, grappling with different things. Becky Chambers does world building and character development so well that I don't really need to know anything about this to know that I'm going to love it. The next one is Out Past the Stars by KB Wagers, and this is coming out on the 23rd of February. And this is the third and final book in the Fairy and War trilogy by KB Wagers. And the Fairy and War trilogy is a second trilogy. It takes place after the Androdan War trilogy. So we're deep in the story at this point. So it's not a book that you could just pick up and read. But I'm really excited for it. The cliffhanger on the second book was just a lot. We're still following Hale Bristol, who was the main character in the Androdan War trilogy, which is one of my favorite sci-fi trilogies ever. If you've not picked it up, it's great. She is a gun runner who is dragged back to her home planet to assume the throne, and all kinds of political intrigue and like craziness ensues. Also out on the 23rd of February is Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. This one also is a book that I'm like, I want this yesterday. It is another queer love story. This one is a story about a high achieving woman who is dealing with high expectations from her parents. She ends up going to Vegas and getting drunk and marrying someone she barely knows. And so then she picks up and goes to New York to live with this new wife that she barely knows. Sounds like it is a semi-fake dating because obviously they're married, but kind of learning to love situation, while also kind of grappling with her own issues. So I'm very interested in that one, and I can't wait to read it. Out on March 3rd is a book that I am sort of hesitantly excited about, and that is Clara and the Sun by Kazu Ishiguro. So I have read 2 books by Ishiguro. The first one I read was The Buried Giant, and I did really enjoy that. I liked the kind of slow and muddled feeling of it. I thought that one was done really well. I then read Never Let Me Go and absolutely did not like that at all. I think that was more due to the content because I did think that the writing was really good. So I have tentatively high hopes for this one. What makes me excited about it and why it's on this list is that it is about an AI who is watching the world go by from a shop. This AI is hoping to become someone's artificial friend and I guess does not get chosen and spends a long time just observing our world. So it is our changing world through the eyes of this AI. And that sounds fascinating to me. That sounds like something that I will really, really enjoy. So this one's on the list because the premise sounds fantastic. Another book that is the culmination of this one's a duology, is Ravage the Dark by Tara Sim. That comes out on the 9th of March, which is my birthday week. And it is the final book in the duology, which is a retelling of The Count of Monte Cristo that is kind of gender swapped. I really enjoyed the first one. I thought that it was fast-paced. Character development was interesting. There was enough of The Count of Monte Cristo weaved into it to get the feeling of a retelling, but not so much that it just felt stale. So I really have high hopes that the second book will do a lot of really interesting things. I have really enjoyed Tara's books in the past. Her Timekeeper series is fantastic. So yes, this one is high on the list. On April the 20th, She Drives Me Crazy by Kelly Quindlen comes out. This is just continuing the theme of queer love stories. One thing that I identified in 2020 that I really enjoy are young adult queer romances. I feel like it's because I didn't really have that when I was a teenager. There wasn't a lot of that out there for me to read and enjoy. So I have kind of a nostalgic fondness for looking back at like that high school, early college time, and seeing those stories actually being told. So this one is a sort of hate to love, fake dating trope situation, which I love fake dating stories. I just love them. Um, and it is a story about a basketball player who just lost their first game against their now ex, and ends up getting in an accident where she either rear ends or she's a fender bender with this really popular girl that is her nemesis. And they end up having to carpool and then cook up some kind of plan to get back at her ex that involves fake dating. It just falls into that contemporary high school age queer love story, so I'm there for it. So out on April the 27th is Fugitive Telemetry, and this is by Martha Wells. It is the 6th novella in her Murderbot series, and Murderbot is one of my favorite series ever. So it follows a murderbot who basically just wants to be left alone to watch sitcoms and things. Doesn't want to be a murder bot, doesn't want to interact with humans, but also becomes incredibly attached to a certain group of humans, and wants to do the right thing. And there's just all kinds of hijinks and hilarity. This one looks like it's going to be kind of a murder mystery situation. So I think this could be really fun and funny and slightly different. So I'm excited about this one. Back to queer YA romances, we have Hani and Ishu's Guide to Fake Dating. I am terrible at trying to pronounce the author's name, so I'm just going to put it right here so I don't absolutely butcher it. I read The Henna Wars by this author and really enjoyed it. So this one is, as the title suggests, a fake dating story, where a popular girl comes out to her friends as bisexual. They invalidate her identity by saying, "You've only dated guys, so how would you know that you're bisexual?" So she claims to be dating this other girl who is also, so both girls are Bengali, and this other girl is very unpopular. Her friends do not like this person, so I think they make a deal to fake date, which usually these fake dating turns into real dating. So that one just sounds really charming. Based on how much I liked the Henna Wars, I think I'm really going to enjoy this one. On June 1st, I think a lot of people are anticipating One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston, who is the author of Red, White, and Royal Blue. I really enjoyed Red, White, and Royal Blue. And this one is a queer romance between one character, August, who is very skeptical about everything, especially skeptical about love. And she meets Alex, who is displaced from the 1970s. And obviously that's going to cause some shakeup. So this sounds interesting and a different twist on the, it's different from the other romances I have on my list. So I'm excited about it. And I find Casey McQuiston's writing style to be compulsively readable. So I feel like this is going to be a great summer read. So also out on the 1st of June is Never Kiss Your Roommate by Feline Harms, and this is yet another YA queer romance. It is set at an exclusive boarding school, obviously a romance between two roommates, and there is like a blogger who is like a gossip column, I guess. They call them the Watcher. Feels a little Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda in that aspect. Really liked that book, and I tend to like the boarding school setting, so this seems like it has a lot of things that I will really enjoy. So the last one on the list is by an author that I know I really enjoy, and this one is The Ghosts We Keep by Mason Deaver. It also comes out on the 1st of June. And this promises to absolutely destroy me. This is primarily a book about grief. It follows a character who has lost their brother, and sort of dealing with the grief that comes with that, as well as finding comfort in their brother's best friend, and just sort of exploring grief and why we should push through and why we need to keep moving on. So yeah, this is gonna destroy me. Just hearing Mason Deaver talk about the book in like hints and things, like I know I'm going to be so upset. But love Mason's writing. They wrote I Wish You All the Best, which was one of my favorite reads of 2019. So, yes, that is everything that I currently have on my list for January through June. I'm sure that other books will pop up along the way, but those are what I've got right now. If you have any other books, especially queer YA romances, to recommend to me, then I would love to hear them in the comments below. If you're going to pick up any of these, love to hear that as well. And any books that you're excited for, I don't need to buy more books, but I'm always here to be enabled. So recommend away. All right. Well, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye.